Hey everyone, welcome back to Propelligent Growth Forecast. I'm Jamal, and today we're talking about something that quietly makes or breaks every single business, and that's recruiting. And I've got Amy Hitchner-Allison with me. Amy runs the AHA Solutions Group, and here's what caught my attention. She holds the US Army Recruiter Ring. Now, that's one of the military's highest honors in talent acquisition. So we're not talking theory here. We're talking battlefield tested systems for building teams. Amy, thanks for jumping on.
Hey,
So,
thank you for having me.
so let's just dive in right in. The Army
Okay.
Recruiter Ring,
Yes.
that's not something they just hand out, right?
No,
No. So what did that experience teach you about recruiting that most companies completely miss?
it's about relationship building. It's a it's about your network locally and even a little further out than you're comfortable with and staying outside your comfort zone. I will tell you this, the Army, they voluntold me. I did not choose to go to recruiting. They pulled me from my regular job to go into recruiting. And I tend to be pleasant towards people, anybody, but normally you're approaching me. I'm not going out of my way to approach you. Uh, the U.S. Army recruitment team very quickly pulled that out of me. So, yes, it
Well,
was
well,
hard fought for.
right. Well, I think that's fascinating because, most companies treat recruiting like it's this soft skill thing, but you're
Mhm.
coming from an environment where it's life or death. Well, it's mission critical at a minimum. So you did military recruiting, then you went into hospitality, manufacturing, trades. I mean, walk me through that. Was there a moment where you looked around and thought, okay, this is broken, I can fix this?
Probably about every position I went into, I'm a fixer. I'm going to identify the problem. I think that's an unhealthy trait that the Army gave me. We're all broken. We have to fix each other in order to get mission critical items done. Going in, I would pick the pain sources, figure out how do we fix this, how do we move forward, and make sure, of course, mentally, even though I've been out of the U.S. Army now for, oh goodness, it's been a minute. I was in active duty for over 8 years, finished up in 2011. So I still have that mentality. It's something you don't really go away from. So it can be fun once you learn how to use it properly. But civilian side, basically, it's drive the business. How can we increase profits? Whether you view that as positive or negative, that's just the truth of the matter. So, my line when I went into my role, okay, we need to make sure we get the best people possible and focus on getting them in and keeping them. Now, typically, recruitment processes, that's not our side. That's HR side. But if we don't work cohesively, somebody tends to drop the ball and assumes the other person has it, and that's hard pill to swallow because when you get somebody in a job, whether it's temporary for them or not, it can be life changing. They want to build that relationship and keep it. So you're constantly building these relationships, and it can be good or bad. You're a face of the company. I know everybody loves to talk about branding, and with recruiting, if they're not selling the brand and bringing that person on, it can leave a bad taste in somebody's mouth. And then it comes back later on when they leave. Well, they're talking down about the company and all of this is a cleanup now. And instead of just at the beginning, if we have a structured system and set it up properly and positively, we're
Right,
not playing cleanup later on.
right. Okay. That's quite wild. I mean, here's what I'm curious about.
Mhm.
You actually ran a business before, right? AHA Career Coaching back in 2019 through to 2022. Then
Mhm.
you relaunched this year as AHA Solutions Group. That's a
Yes.
rebrand with intention, right? So what changed? What did version 1.0 teach you?
With let me see. With the career coaching, I love it. I'm passionate about it. I think a lot of us, and no matter the career field, we can do a better job about mentoring the ones coming up or even guiding some of the younger generation, high school. I would start at high school to come into these industries. It wasn't happening. And for me, with the Army, with people leaving not only the Army, but the services, transitioning out and making a career now, you don't have a lot of mentorship. People are hungry for that, and you can grow them. I had a problem with charging people money. When I would take 1, 2, 3 hours, a week or meeting once a week, every week, that sort of thing, I had a problem charging people money for my time when I'm like, I know it. Please let me give it to you to help you grow and be successful. Yeah, so I shied away from that, and let's be honest, a lot of AI with building the resumes out. I can help you rewrite your resume, but now AI, you can plug in Chat GPT, ask it, hey, where are my pain points? Where do I need to highlight? You did need to know how to ask the right questions. But instead of charging somebody these amounts to write their resume, and normally they're in between jobs, I
Yeah.
just had a problem ethically, challenging myself back and forth. So with this, I'm helping my current company, AHA Solutions Group. I'm helping companies internally make sure that they're doing the right things in the recruitment team, and it seems more structured.
Okay, so with regards to that, I mean, let's talk about what you're building now. I mean, you've got three main things. You're training recruiters, you're auditing recruitment operations, and then you're placing certified recruiters. I mean, that's not
Yes.
random, right? There's logic to that stack. So just break that down for me, and what's got you to do that?
Okay. So I get passionate. Cut me off if I get too long winded. Okay.
No, no, you carry on. You carry on.
So with recruitment, the only training I got with recruiting was when the Army pulled me to recruit, and they stuck me in a, oh gosh, it was a couple weeks training program from the ground up. Hey, you don't know how to recruit. We're going to teach you how to do it. And there was a bunch of different things: marketing, sales, building a funnel, how to approach people. Um, in the Army, we don't necessarily brand because there's teams for that with the advertising and stuff. So taking that messaging and going out and doing those things, as well as plugging into your areas and knowing who to talk with that can bring referrals to you. So a lot of these companies, they say that they want that. They don't have a process in place. In my experience, and let me preface this, my experience, they may hire outside recruiters, but companies have a tendency of pulling people in different departments to come into their recruiting team, and then like, hey, hire this role. Um, some of them have gotten better, but at the beginning it was like, hey, you need to make a job description, pass it through legal to make sure that it's legally compliant. Sometimes they would be like, do you know the legal regulations of what we can and can't do? And but then you're also training your hiring managers to know those legal things. And of course, hiring managers have more time on their plate to, put this knowledge in their heads and go forward with it. And realistically, it kind of ex- excuse the terminology, but the redheaded stepchild of the company. You get people pulled plug and play. Hey, do this for us, figure it out, and then keep moving on. Not until recently did we have the higher end companies. You have SHRM, Society for Human Resources Management, and the other one, HR. I always mess it up and I apologize. It's HRCI or IC. But they just started having in the recent couple of years certifications for recruitment, but it still focuses mostly on HR operations.
Right, right, okay.
Recruiting is a whole nother monster. So there is, I believe, and things may have changed, but in the recent years, past 5 maybe, there's only one college nationwide in the US that offers a degree program in recruiting. But it's still primarily leaning on HR. Now, don't get me wrong, you do need to know laws and regs, and that is a portion of HR.
Right.
But there is so much room for growth with training recruiters and getting them very well versed in the nature of this career, and actually wanting to stay with it and drive it forward and make it a great experience for them long term. So that's with the recruiter training. And that's kind of a basis of where everything starts. Now, I will say the recruiter audit with companies, a lot of recruiters are very good in their craft and they need to know they're supported. But if you don't have somebody either internally or, part of maybe the HR team or the higher ups that are looking at the numbers and the data and can see how all of this operates, all this is working out and see where the pain points are at, again, it's more of the best way to put it, it's more reactive than proactive.
Okay, so when you go into a company and you're doing one of these strategic recruiter audits, what are you actually looking for? Like, what are the top two or three gaps you see over and over again?
I'm going to ask for data. I'm going to ask what their ATS system is and what
Hmm.
their data is. I want to see, if they have job openings, how many candidates are they getting? Quality versus applicants. And there can be some major discrepancies. If you're getting hundreds, if not thousands, of people applying to the job, but maybe only 25 are actually qualified, why are we not stopping that at the application process?
Yes,
You
yes.
know, that. And then I will see from my personal perspective, as far as experience and now helping with companies, the interview process. If we're not following up consistently with candidates and giving them updated expectations, not necessarily the initial interview with the recruiter, but with the hiring manager. And from the hiring manager, either it's a next level of an interview process or it's going back to the recruiter and saying, great, let's move forward, or no, thank you. A lot of times the hiring managers get stuck with, this is a great candidate, but I kind of want to see who else
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
what are, what can we do at the beginning from the recruiter intake of getting that job and going live, posting for the applicants? What can we set expectations wise for the hiring manager and understanding, as well as when these candidates go in and talk with the hiring manager, are we making sure the hiring manager is set up with knowing that candidate? So the questions, they're either going to make it more apparent that that candidate is phenomenal or that candidate does not belong in that job or that company. I think we have, it's a finessing, it's relationship building. Can your hiring
Okay, so
manager?
when
Yeah.
when you fix those gaps, do
Mhm.
you have numbers? Like, what does that actually translate to in terms of time to fill, cost per hire, retention? What's the real impact?
Normally, I'm typical jobs. Now, it really does depend on the skill sets. If we're talking very high end, very savvy skill sets, I would like to aim 45-day time to fill. Anything
Right.
less than that, entry to medium level, it should be a no brainer of a 30-day fill, if not less. If that's not happening, obviously we've identified, are we not getting enough candidates? Is the quality down? Is there the stop at the hiring manager? That sort of thing. Um, you'll have to remind me the other part of the question.
Well, no, I was thinking of things like cost per hire, retention. So you've answered time to fill being 45 to 30 days, but things like cost per hire, retention, are there, and what's the real impact that you get?
When you decrease that time to fill, you're decreasing that expense of hiring. I won't necessarily talk about numbers because every company is different,
Sure, sure.
but retention, and this is where my friends in HR come in, retention. Are we setting expectations and keeping expectations? Are we managing through the whole work process? Well, let me back up. Okay. A lot of companies, they don't truly understand if they're trying to hire a lot of entry level, and it's a lot of turnover. Hospitality, they're going to be seasonal. There's not longevity in it. It can sometimes, you can start giving perks for seasonal employees to come back year after year. There are some nuances to that, but retention, you have to understand, do you want people staying at your company 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years plus? Or are you setting your company up that you want new blood in? And some of the terminology we use, do
No, sure,
you
no,
want,
sure.
yeah, do you want new lifeblood in your company every, 3 to 5 years to refresh and make sure you're staying relevant with your brand, your product, your consumer? Some companies don't know, and some companies, the executive tables know, and they're not translating that down to the HR and the recruitment team, and they have unrealistic expectations. If you know, you can set your hiring team up for so much success with setting expectations like, hey, we tend in this department to keep people long term wise, and it's great. In this other department, we have a rotation of about 2 to 3 years. So
Right.
let's keep those expectations. We want great people, great candidates coming in and joining our team. For those long terms, you want people to stay in long term because you understand that if you're pouring into your people, they know the processes, they can see the gaps and fix them. They bring so much to the table, and cost, they're keeping costs down. It's expensive to hire people over and over again. When you build longevity and you're pouring into your people, now there's costs with that. You bring in your training team. How do we implement training to keep our company, our people relevant and ahead of the game to compete with our competitors? But realistically, understanding where you're at and bring in the HR team to know, okay, if we're losing people, are we doing exit interviews? Are we setting up? And again, this is where the Army has taught me, I believe, wonderfully. We would do counseling sessions every month instead of this performance review every year or maybe 6 months if you're lucky. We did counseling every month. Hey, what are our three strengths? What's really went well this month that we've done and what we want to continue to strive forward for? And what are 3 points that, hey, you really need to work on these because you're slacking? Working in the private sector, I've taken that to heart. We have our phones now on us 24/7. Why is it that we can't record something and make sure our employees know that they are, setting the standards, setting expectations, or maybe they're not, maybe they need some more training. Those things that we can do and pour into our team to keep these great productive employees.
Got it. I mean, so look, here's something I want to dig into
Mhm.
because it's everywhere right now, right? AI.
Yeah.
You talk about AI ready playbooks and making sure companies use AI in a fair, compliant way. Now, most
Mhm.
companies I see are either terrified of AI or they're just throwing it at everything and hope it works.
Yes.
Now, where do you stand on this? I mean, like, where should AI actually touch the recruiting process and where do humans absolutely need to stay in control?
Okay. So I'm not sure when the podcast is going to go live, and I hope I don't shoot myself in the foot. I'm actually attempting to go live tomorrow with an AI training specific for recruiters to help them create a roadmap with either what they have implemented or what they're going to implement or even shop around, but with having AI in their process. AI is a tool. I know companies right now are trying to replace people with AI. And, to a point, I understand it and it's going to happen. Amazon just laid off what, 30,000 people?
Yeah, yeah,
It is a tool. It is a tool. It will replace some jobs, and that's okay. I think when you understand how to utilize that tool to the best of its ability, not yours, keep learning, keep training. When you
yes,
know how
yes.
to make it your job better by utilizing these tools, you're going to be phenomenal. You're going to be in
Yeah,
demand.
Yeah, I agree, and I think what people miss is that all the companies we've worked with, we in essence turn humans into superhumans because if you use AI in the right way, it improves productivity. It's not about losing jobs, but it's all about improving your productivity, which then drives to the bottom line because you're doing more effectively and utilizing the AI tools that way. But sorry, I interrupted
100%.
because yeah, okay. I mean, look. It makes sense, especially and I'm delighted that we timed it right for you to launch your AI tool. So that's great. Um, uh, you also do recruiter placement, um, but you only place people who are AHA certified,
Yes.
right? So
Mhm.
what does that mean? Like, what's the difference between someone who is AHA certified versus just experienced?
Um, so I've actually built out not only the AI training that's going live tomorrow, I am in the process of building out training specific for recruiters. I want us to get away from, putting in that sales rep that you know that has a lot of connections to bring into the company. They're recruiting now. I want us to not necessarily get away from, helping that person out and building them up in different ways, but equipping them. There was so many times that I went into a job and whether I was the leader or not, I was training my coworkers. I was helping them out with understanding the processes, understanding, building a great funnel, those sort of things that are key to being a recruiter and understanding how to really get 100% out of this job or career. Hopefully, it's a career for most of the people. But setting up those foundational things, and I've found time and again, unless I'm researching and really digging and talking to people and gaining mentors myself, the training wasn't really out there. Um, Again, not until the recent couple of years were there, certifications for recruiters that there's companies now, and they're necessarily not for just a recruiter, but they're for higher end companies that can come in and help the recruitment team build up and figure out what they're doing wrong or, gain ground on that aspect of it. Um, there's nothing that you can just, hey, I want to go and take this certification or take this training to really be hands on. And even with some of those certifications, they're not hands on. With my trainings, you're actually, no matter what company, we're very confidential. So no matter what company you're with, I'm taking those recruiters through a process, and there are three different levels. There's the entry level recruiter, the intermediate that's been doing it for a while, and then of course the TA recruiter leaders that need some, really deep training. But these trainings are going hand in hand with what you're doing. You can utilize them in your ATS systems. It's not plug. It's not. I should specify. It's not integrative with it. It's telling you how to utilize these systems to the best of your ability. Mhm.
Okay, so you're quite laser focused on the three industries, right? Hospitality, professional services, and multi-site manufacturing. I mean, those are
Mhm.
high volume, often high turnover environments. Why those three? What made you say this is where I can make the biggest impact?
Personally, I've recruited for those industries. I know
Right.
how those industries operate very well. Other industries can utilize this information. They can utilize the training. I'm not saying you have to be in those, but I can speak on my perspective firsthand, and I've found that that makes a world of difference.
Okay, fair enough. I think that's sensible. Better to know an
We can
area.
take it
Uh,
deep.
yes, no, I agree. I agree. Okay, I want to ask you about the growth side because you launched this version of your business in April. So you're 7 months in.
Mhm.
What's working? Like, what would you double down on if you could clone yourself tomorrow?
Oh gosh. I am I'm This is something new in this space. Other than there's a few other companies doing this for very, very large companies, there's really nobody else doing this in this space. And I've been passionate about it for a very long time. So
Right.
I just finally had the guts to jump into it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
On the flip side, what surprised you? What did you think was going to work that didn't, or what did you have to do to adjust?
I'm adjusting continually. I'm still new in the space, so I'm still talking to people and building that trust to even utilize my services. So it's a continual, hey, what's working, what's connecting with people, what's not, and just pivoting a little by little.
Got it.
Um, I think once it becomes more public knowledge than these little pockets of people knowing, I think it's going to become more relevant.
Okay, so I mean, how are you getting clients? You're in Alabama, serving the Gulf Coast. Are you doing outbound content, relationships? What's the main engine?
I've actually hired a marketer. She helps me making sure that I'm posting content continually. The main one is on LinkedIn. And then we just actually batch created a lot of video content to go ahead and start advertising that way. The
Right.
direction is video and just warm and cold outreach, letting people know, hey, can you utilize these services? Do you need help? The biggest reason why I'm launching this AI training is because I see that need there, and a lot of people are iffy about it. Right now, the market environment overall, there's some slow hiring. It's not picking up the way that it should or can. A lot of people are hesitant because of AI. And then you still see normally layoffs kind of die down about this time, but so does hiring. You see layoffs continuing to happen through this fourth quarter. I think there's going to be another ramp up in 2026 first quarter. Don't quote me on it. Don't come after me if it doesn't. But I think understanding AI, there's still more to learn from it, but we're going to have these people that understand AI so dynamically because, well, not because, but companies are going to see that and snap them up and put them in leading services in their company internally to run operations.
Okay. All right. And that makes complete sense. And do you think that the AI product you're launching is a great potentially customer acquisition tool?
Personally, yes, yes.
Okay. I agree with you. I'd agree with you.
Of course, I'm a little biased, but the fact of the matter is, it's hands on. It's going to be interactive. It's going to say, hey, do this. We're seeing stateside, some states are coming up with laws and implementing stuff. The way that I crafted this program, it's setting a standard and an expectation that will, if it doesn't exactly mirror what comes out nationwide, it will be very close and it stays very ethical. It makes sure that you let people know that AI is involved, but you are making the decision. A human is making a decision, and that's still extremely important right now.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right. I want to do a quick rapid fire here because I know people listening are either running recruitment teams or they're frustrated with their current recruiting setup. All right. So,
Mm,
first question. All right. You ready?
ready.
Okay. All right. If a CEO is listening right now and they know that their recruiting is broken, like they're missing time to fill targets, turnover's brutal, hiring managers are complaining. What's the one question they should ask their TA leader tomorrow morning to diagnose what's actually wrong?
I don't have a short answer for that. If you know the pain point, ask your TA team to come up with solutions to fix the pain point. Make them brainstorm and then give them a time constraint to actually implement some of those key changes.
Love it. Perfect. Okay, flip side. All right. If a recruiter is listening and they want to level up, they want to stop being seen as just a resume pusher and start being seen as strategic. What's the one skill or mindset shift they need to make?
You need to figure out where you're lacking, excuse me, where you're lacking at. You need to level up and train. You need to find some sort of training to increase that knowledge skill gap.
Got it. And that makes complete sense. All right, last one. All right. Um, 18 months from now, what does success look like for AHA Solutions Group? What are you building towards?
We actually have training programs in place, launched subscription services that can be implemented. We have continual clients coming on board, as well as building those relationships with current clients. We There are some options to come on and just purchase user services and, hey, thanks, that's all we need, have a good one. But there are retentions in place to have us continually monitor and make sure we want to identify a problem before it becomes a problem. That way we can go in and be like, hey, this is going to come up and, it might hurt. Let's find solutions and implement them now before it becomes a headache.
Amy, this has been fantastic. I think what you're doing is so needed because most companies treat recruiting like it's just posting jobs and hoping for the best. But you're actually bringing actual systems, metrics, discipline, the stuff that actually works.
Yes.
So if people want to connect with you and work with you, um, and check out the TA leadership playbook you've got, where should they go?
The easiest one is the website, ahasolutionsgroup.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm on most of the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram. My name's Amy Hitchner-Allison. You can DM me there. I don't care. Other than my family and being at church, this is what I do. So
Okay. Well, I'll make sure that's in our show notes. And perfect.
thank
Look,
you.
everyone listening, if recruiting is a pain point in your business, or you're a recruiter who wants to level up, reach out to Amy. She's doing real work here. And then thank you so much for being on the show, Amy.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
It certainly was.